So as you guys see, you learned from dental focused accountant on our team. I'm going to bring up one of my favorite players on the team from one of my favorite groups. The awesome April Francia can start her video from my main Amigos friend, Rob Montgomery. We run the dentalamigos.com, our podcast. April sees me come in quite often with my Chipotle lunch ready to do podcast with Rob. That's a true story. I do eat a lot of Chipotle. So April, thanks so much for being here. Dental focused attorney, such a key part of surviving, thriving, and not crying in your dental journey. So April, same thing for you. What do you help dentists do to increase success and decrease stress? And if you could highlight multiple practice ownership, that would be great.
Yeah, so my firm, as Paul said, we are dental focused attorneys. So we can provide you with counseling in a wide variety of business issues. So we can assist you with actually purchasing the practice and putting that onto paper, looking at the fine details. We can assist you with employment agreements, right? Making sure that those work for every single person on your team. And most importantly, especially as you're growing, we can also provide you with HR counseling. As your team grows, the number of people on your staff grows, and that subjects you to other laws that you might not have considered before. So a wide variety of business counseling that I hope really does decrease your stress, because we are looking for, those details that you might overlook.
And I want to share, April, I love practicing real basketball with my daughter. I teach her how to shoot, and I really am actually a good shooter. I'm good at like 4 things in life. That's one of them. And I talk about the fundamentals, and maybe, I think it's so important. Dentists go to dental school. They put in 4 years, $500,000. They get a contract from an employer, and they say, I can't afford an attorney. I don't want to spend the money on an attorney. And they wind up crying inside, losing money, losing their morale, where if they had just gone to someone like you and reviewed a contract. So while I know it's not specifically part about multi-practice ownership, but on the other side, what do you see the newest dentist either do to make them cry inside with their contracts? Or maybe what are some things you see in contracts that people should kind of be aware of?
Oh, yeah. So with associate agreements, it's, too often I see a lot of tears from folks who will, just sign because they're excited to have a job. But, what ends up making people cry are the things that they miss in between. So one of the things that I see a lot that is just so heartbreaking are restrictive covenants. And the restriction.
All right, well, I was trying to get my guy out here, so he has annoyed everyone. This is the crying side monster. My team, you can come get him. He never shuts off. But that was my joke there. Sorry, April. I'll let you keep going.
That's all
come
right.
get that.
So with restrictive covenants, a lot of people will overlook some of the smaller details, like aside from the mileage and the time period, which people will always see, things to look out for. What are you prohibited from doing? Can you be a part owner in something, or is it just that you are not allowed to practice? As far as solicitation, if patients come and follow you to another practice, can you treat them? Those small things that can really restrict your growth are things that I see all the time that get missed, that are just so heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, and I want to share, April, because we were talking about online, and this is important for multiple practice owners on the other side. I know there's talk about non-competes going away, but they're not going away tomorrow, are they?
No, they're certainly not. They are not going away tomorrow. So I would treat them as if they are, and they still are, very much a thing. So yeah, the law is developing, but at this point, they are still very much a feature of our everyday lives in this industry.
Awesome. One of the things I want to talk about next is don't be dentisting cheap. Dentists have a way of being spectacularly cheap. They'll spend more on their golf swing than they will on their dental focus attorney, and they actually stink at golf. But my point here is I have you and your team make every single one of our employment contracts for associates, because I believe agreements are not about conflict. They're about managing expectations. And we have your team do it. So why, if someone's going to buy more than one practice or the third practice, why is it so important to have good agreements in place, especially for associate dentists, whether it's for sale to a DSO, whether it's for protecting your practice? Why is it important for multiple practice owners to have good associate agreements?
Yeah, for sure. So it's incredibly important, because as you're growing, there's more associates, more potential for, other competitors out there. So you really want to make sure that those associates that you bring on, they have tight confidentiality provisions, tight restrictive covenants, and that, even though you're bringing them into your practice to work for you, that your practice can still grow and be protected, notwithstanding those other agreements.
And I'll share, a couple things. One of the reasons why it's important to keep your production sheets as an associate, because if you go to buy a practice and you have to show the bank that you could produce, it's very weird if you walk in on, April 15th and say, hi, can I have all of my production sheets from the past year? And now I'll talk about multi-practice owner. I get DMs, April, from associates saying, this dentist is asking me to sign an employment agreement, but we've never had one before. And that's usually some sort of sign that they're about to sell the practice to a DSO. And that really freaks out the associate. So best practices, I believe, just lead to best results. So as we wrap up, April, a message of whether inspiration, motivation, responsibility to help dentists cry less and smile more. You're part of our transitions basketball team. What would you say to them out there?
Yeah, so in a similar vein, like with what Jared said about, it's all about the who. The other part of that is, kind of like your basketball team here, assemble a good team that'll stand behind you and support you. So folks that are dental focused attorneys or dental focused CPAs, you do need that support, and that's why we're here. So definitely get a team to back you up, exactly like the folks that we have here.
Yeah, we might not be able to help you dunk a real basketball. We will help you prevent you from getting dunked on out there in the transitions world. Make sure you get a screenshot of April and I will send that to Rob. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us, April. Before you go, I just want to share that people can reach out directly to you. They can they can reach out to us by emailing April to salsa@dentalnachos.com. We'll connect you with your team. But if someone wanted to reach out to you directly or your dental lawyer, April, what would be the best way to do so?
Yeah, so feel free to hop on our website. That's Your Dental Lawyer. That's 2 L's, dentallawyer.com. There you'll be able to see all the different things that we can do to help you, as well as contact information for myself and my colleagues.
Awesome. And Rob and I spent so much time on the podcast, theDentalAmigos.com, and you can also get some great information there and learn about it. Well, thanks so much, April, for being part of this. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me.